like volunteering in youth and young adult programs, such as sports or youth groups, library programs, even like coming into the classroom and maybe being involved with a lesson. I think that's a really good way for teachers to, or student teachers to become involved with the community.
Okay, I think they could perhaps take advantage of teaching something through the Parks and Rec department. They always are looking for volunteers or teachers that have a particular skill set that they want to teach kids and adults for, and usually there's a fee for those classes, so you can get paid through the fee for those classes. So I think that's a good opportunity that really gets into the community. And then I think tapping into the homeschool groups in the area is a good resource for a new teacher to test their skills. Homeschool groups I think are always looking maybe for tutors or putting together a group class to teach a specific subject, just getting together. And then I also thought that in the state of Washington, you can either take the state test or have a certified teacher look over like your portfolio and things like that. So I think that might be a good opportunity. I know at my church they sometimes set up a group testing for the state test for the homeschoolers in our church, and they pay for that too. So the homeschool groups I think is a great opportunity. And then in any schools that do any kind of independent studies are always looking for mentors and teachers to help those students with their independent study. If you have that expertise, say like sign language, that you could teach that after hours as a mentor or a advisor, so to speak, for them to stay on track for their independent study.
I think especially if a teacher's new to an area or a town or an environment, it's important for them to figure out what the style of community is, or what the general kind of community vibe is as far as the population goes. So I think reaching out to groups like Big Brother Big Sister or the YMCA or even Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts is a good way to kind of touch base with the community, find out the flavor of the community before they really get involved with the school aspect of it, and also kind of introduces them to the children they're going to be working with before they actually get in the classroom.
I think that in the case of, from a governance standpoint, from the standpoint of the institutions that they're going under, I think most universities don't have a lot of requirements for pre-service teachers apart from their classroom teaching experience. However, I think the opportunity falls upon those classroom teachers to be able to, those pre-service teachers, to have as many experiences as they can beyond their traditional academic experience. And if that is basically from the standpoint of a parent, whose kids are going to be with those teachers eventually in the classroom, from the standpoint of the ability of those pre-service teachers to be able to be a quality service to the community that they're serving, I think the more opportunities that they have to make connections to the community, the better, so that they understand the context. So these new sorts of Common Core and next generation science standards are really exciting on some levels. I think some people don't like them, but I think what's exciting about them is that the ability to create community contexts to achieve them becomes really important, really valuable. So when we are doing an investigation of a bog nearby, for example, a pond that's nearby, we're looking at the water quality of that pond and being able to explore what sorts of things might be compromising the quality of that water from environmental standpoints, and the effects of that on the wildlife that are there or the end users beyond that pond. Allows students to be able to not just study the ecology of that, decompartmentalize that understanding from just science, but we can look at the social studies elements, the history elements. And so I think community contexts allow teachers to develop especially pre-service teachers, to get a richer understanding of how they are not just deliverers of content, but they help to become more effective if they can help to make their subjects come to life through rich learning experiences. So I think that's an important part of it. The other Urban Environmental Ed program. And the Urban Environmental Education program is all about helping to build a next generation of classroom teachers who have confidence in being able to work beyond the classroom and use their schoolyards and their community as the context to be able to deliver their program. Not that the classroom isn't essential, but then we begin to think of the classroom as the laboratory, where we go back and we understand the data that we've collected in our community. And that's something that we're really excited about. So we're building relationships with community-based organizations that surround these schools that we'll be working with. And so students will have placements in schools and also in these community-based organizations. And so they will understand, particularly in this part of Seattle that we're looking at, some of the drivers that affect kids in regards to housing, food, energy, the pressures that are on them as far as a variety of different transportation and so forth. And so all of these things affect our kids and their families and affect how they're going to arrive in school every day and be ready to understand the context. So using those community contexts as a resource for teaching and learning. I think pre-service teachers need to have the confidence of how do I walk into a community, how do I work with a community to help them achieve my educational goals with my students.